What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to a new episode here on Ben Builds with Joe. We are back on the Tamiya 148 scale ME109. This is what we have so far. So you can tell a little bit off camera here, I fixed some of these spots on the side. I also cleaned up the other side as well, added a few more of those leopard spots, touched up some of the overspray from the brown here on top of the air intake, and I think honestly, I'm happy with it. It looks fine. Is it perfect? No, but I think this is going to be good enough to go ahead and move on to the next level. And today what we're going to be doing is doing some detail painting and installing the slats and the flaps and all that good stuff. Because right now the flaps are not glued down. Also, we need to go ahead and figure out the color for these. And as far as I've read, the color is supposed to be the RLM02. So this color right here. We're going to be airbrushing that. And we're just going to cover just the bottom parts of the slats and then the, top part there for the flaps as well. Now the front nose cone, we need to go ahead and touch that up as well as paint the underside here with, again, RLM02 for those wheel bays. But I think that's going to be pretty decent. Then we're going to install the landing gears and move on from there. Probably do a nice little gloss coat for next episode, with I'm hoping to do the decals. Now for the slats, I went ahead and I did some airbrushing on that and made sure that the spots kind of lined up. I think that's okay. I don't see any problem with that. Other side as well, match up decently. Color seems to be pretty close, and I think I'm happy with it. No complaints. So we have to go ahead and install that. So let's go ahead and cue up a time lapse. We're going to go ahead and mask off the front slats and then, of course, the top of the rear flaps. And we're going to airbrush just the RLM02 over those areas. So let's go ahead and get it going, get this thing moving. All right, everybody, we are back, and as you can see, we went ahead and airbrushed that white band around the rear of the fuselage. Now, they do have a decal here in the kit, but I've decided to go ahead and paint that on instead because I'm not sure if the decal will be thick enough to go ahead and hide the brown and the green spots. We may have a shift in color there if the decal is that thin. So instead of just, chancing it, I decided to go ahead and paint that white on there. Just use some regular old Tamiya flat white. You guys saw that real quick in the last section there. Went ahead and I used the decal, of course, though, as a template. So I could cut a piece of tape that's about the same size as that band, stuck that down, covered around the sides of it, removed all chances of overspray, and then just pulled that up and airbrushed the white. That's pretty decent. Slats are on nicely. The rear flaps are on as well. Now I'm just gluing down that main gear, and I think, honestly, we are looking pretty decent. So I'm happy with it. Now let me go ahead and show you guys what the propeller looks like. Did a little bit of work there off camera, and as you can see, it fits right here, right on the front of that. Oh man, that looks cool. I love the fact that it's half red, half white. I think that's really very striking, so I'm very happy with it. Now, of course, we did do a little bit of detail painting around the collars for the propeller blades. That's just a silver color, nothing fancy there. Everything is glued down. I'm not going to glue the propeller in because it's got a poly cap on the inside, so it should stay put just fine. Now, I mentioned I'm not going to install the guns today because I don't want to, but instead, we are going to go ahead and drill out that cool flared barrel tip that most of the German fighters have. We're going to use a pin vise, just make a little dimple right there in the center. I'm taking my very sharpest X-Acto knife blade that I've got, and I'm just going to slowly just kind of bore out that center section. I love that flared design, so we're going to keep that as much as we can. And as I kind of slowly work my way through, once I get enough of that area opened up, get one of my micro drill bits, then go ahead and just slowly kind of auger out that entire section. And I think we should be pretty decent. So already it's looking very, very nice. I like the look of this. Let's go ahead and grab our micro drill bit, and we're just going to go ahead and drill a little deeper to give it a bit more depth. Then I think we're good for the other side, and we're going to move on to the next section. So far this kit is coming together, and like I said, I love Tamiya. Tamiya is awesome. Really highly recommend if you guys haven't built this kit, grab one. It's so much fun. Now the next thing I want to go ahead and focus on is the rear tail wheel. Most of the pictures I've seen show that the rear tail wheel has a white wall on it. So we're going to go ahead and add that in just with a brush paint though, and Tamiya flat white. I'm not really sure if this is going to look perfect, but I think from a distance, seeing as this wheel is so small, you're not really going to see the imperfections that I will naturally have because I'm brush painting and I'm not airbrushing, I'm not masking, nothing like that. A person could actually, if they really wanted to get serious about this, they could take the entire wheel, paint the entire thing white, and then take a very thin piece of, say, Tamiya tape, punch it out, and then punch out the center section and cut an area out of it for that rear wheel support, stick it down, paint the whole thing black, pull it up, and you would have your white underneath. Now, I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I'm just going to hand paint this with my very finest brush and a very thin mixture of Tamiya flat white. I think, honestly, from 3 feet, you're not going to notice it. Looks pretty decent. I'm going to flip it over to the other side, and I think we're ready to go ahead and install that and move on to a gloss coat. And here it is, all plugged into the model. As you can see, I like it. Doesn't look perfect, but again, arm's length away, about 3 feet, you're not going to notice. I think it adds a little bit of character, and that's where the pictures show. So I'm going to run with it. Now let's go ahead and cue up that time lapse, guys. We're going to go ahead and grab some future floor polish, and we're going to airbrush the entire thing and cover that with a nice thick coat of gloss. And we are back, everybody. As you can see, the entire aircraft has been gloss coated with that wonderful Future or Pledge floor care. And I like it. I think that's going to be sealing in all of our paint work. And that's great. See the bottom here, we've got our wheel wells painted out with the RLMO2. We have our slats and our flaps. Underside is RLMO2 with the top brown with the RLM80 green spots. Everything I think is really moving along, and I think it looks pretty decent. Now, next episode, we should be able to come back and start applying some decals. We've got the wheels all nicely glossed as well, so that should be able to be glued on next episode. We've got a couple of extra pieces like that headrest armor plate. That has to be painted up for that little headrest there. But other than that, guys, we are looking pretty decent. So we're going to go ahead and call it quits for today, but make sure to go over to Joe's channel, check out his build. He actually finished his and it looks fantastic. So make sure to drop over there, check it out, drop him a like, tell him Ben sent you, and then we'll go ahead and see you all back here on the next episode of Ben Builds with Joe. Until then, go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on the next episode. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.